Steelers. Are you listening, Max and Molly? I got the list here. I got the list. Who the hell else is in this segment with us? Who is that? It's Ryan Clark. He's there. Listen, let me tell you something. Listen to your brother. Here I come. Let's go to number 5 on the list. Give it to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, they've dropped about 4 slots. Why? Because they've stuck up the joint the last 2 games. That's why I don't give a damn that they're 11-1. I don't like the way that they've looked. Bud Dupree is out for the season. Devin Bush is out for the season. Spillane might be out for a few weeks. Offensively, they can't run the damn football to save their life. That's not Steelers football. If Mike Tomlin can call them out, if he could sit up there and call them straight garbage, at least at least metaphorically or whatever the case may be, a paraphrasing or whatever, that if he could do that, damn it, I could do that. They lucky they're in my top 5, but 11-1. Suffering their first loss. They're still 11-1.
Boy, you
I gotta say they're a
shameful.
top 5 team. That's what. Zip it, Ryan Clark. We'll get to you in a second. Let's go to number 4 on the list, please. Give it to me. The Buffalo Bills. Why? Because right now, a legitimate argument could be made that, records aside, they might be the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs instead of the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? Josh Allen is balling, completing nearly 70% of his passes. They're winning football games. They're first in the AFC East. Them against the Steelers coming up is a game we must all watch. The Buffalo Bills are a legitimate threat. We can't ignore that. Let's get to number 3 on the list. Give it to me. You know what time it is. Here's a hint. He's a bad man. Woo! I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers completing better than 68% of his passes. They're winning football games, 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Clearly a top 2 candidate for league MVP honors. He is that dude. His name is Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he's got Devontae Adams. Yes, he's got Aaron Jones. Lazard is not a scrub. We get it. But Aaron Rodgers is that's a bad brother right there. Just reminding everybody of his greatness. I've got them at number 3. Let's get to number 2 on the list. You know what it is. Give it to me. It ain't about Taysom Hill, but it is about him to some degree, the New Orleans Saints. Why? Because they've won 9 straight. That's why. Because even though they haven't had Drew Brees, their defense has been nothing short of elite. They're probably the most well-balanced team in the National Football League with the exceptional coaching of Sean Payton. And oh, by the way, and Drew Brees is coming back. The defense is solid. Kamara is still there. Michael Thomas is still there. Emmanuel Sanders is still there. The brothers can play, and Taysom Hill can run with the damn football. He's a dual threat. Give respect where respect is due. Consistency matters. They're trending upwards. The Steelers can't say as much. I'm going with the Saints at number 2 and number 1. You know who it is. You know what time it is. His name is Patrick Mahomes. They are the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. But I don't know if anybody's noticed. I understand it's almost not fair because George Kittle is injured. But Travis Kelce looks like he's destined for the Hall of Fame. He is just putting on a show at that tight end spot, catching passes all over the place. Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in football. You still got Andy Reid and Bieniemy. The defense isn't trash. Kansas City's the number 1 team. So my top 5, Ryan Clark, just to be clear, okay, the Chiefs, the Saints, the Packers, the Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my top 5 team. Let's go.
This is depressing because I have to do my power rankings on the Max Kellerman show on the radio, guys. I give my rankings every week, my power rankings, and I sent them in yesterday. My producer Raj Stephen A. And I got to say, that's a Stevens A+ list. You not only got the right 5 teams, you got them in the right order, 5-1. It's exactly right. That's the first time this year Stephen A. has turned in a list that I don't even really see the debate. He got 1 through 5 and in the right order.
Guys.
This is the second week Max has said that, by the way. It's not the first week, Max. It's the second week you said that. But no.
Yeah. Well, last week I agreed you had an A list because you could have had a debate about one. This is perfect.
Hey, Ryan, before you go, can I ask a question for a second here? What color blue is that you're wearing right there?
It's purple.
It's purple. Oh.
Blue called purple.
It's purple with gold in the inside. LSU. You see it? I'm still repping.
Did you just bring up LSU?
I'm still repping.
You just brought up LSU, huh?
I'm still repping.
Okay. LSU, huh? I hear you mention them all year, Ryan Clark. Hey, that's the first time I heard you mention them this year.
As of now, we are still the reigning national champion.
Okay.
Don't forget that. So watch your mouth.
You
understand?
That's true.
Because you're the one always talking about blasphemy. It's clearly you're a traitor. I mean, you're the most Fredo Corleone type brother I've ever seen in my life. You just walk over to the other side. So the Steelers lose one time and we push them all the way down to 5. This list isn't even, it's not even mobile. It's fugazi. Like the fact that a team is 11-1, and yes, they didn't look good against the Washington football team, but they only lost one time, Stephen A. Out of 12 times that they've gone on the field, they've been the better team. Now, I believe the Buffalo Bills should move into the top 5. I would have them as the 5th team, but at least let them beat the Pittsburgh Steelers this week before you put them ahead of them. But you know what? You've been trying to get here the whole year. Oh, I think they need to lose. Oh, RC, I'm scared. So you know why you did this list? You did this list to make yourself feel good. To make yourself feel good for hating on the Steelers for the last 6 weeks, for picking against them and saying that they lose a game eventually. I mean, if you keep saying it every week, Stephen A., eventually you're going to be right. And two, Stephen A., on the other side of it, the New Orleans Saints are the #1 football team in the NFL. Kansas City
abandoned any pretense of running the football. So the question is, can they win a Super Bowl that way?
You can't. You can't win a Super Bowl relying on your 38-year-old quarterback who is playing well but has a retooled and rebuilt elbow. That's not the way to win football games. You can't have 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 miss it 13 times this season, which is second worst in the NFL. And that's who the Pittsburgh Steelers are. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that was built on physicality. They're an organization that was built on physicality. And when you get 4th and 1, you decide to throw sluggos to the outside to 3rd string running backs. And that's not the way you win. When you can't kick a field goal, when you can't get 4th and 1 so you can seal away the Dallas Cowboys, who we've seen can't stop the run or with any type of proficiency or efficiency. And so for me, the Pittsburgh Steelers need to get back to physicality. They need to get back to an identity that doesn't say Ben Roethlisberger has to drop back 53 times in order for our team to win a football game.
Dominique, what do you think? It's a fascinating one because, again, they're 11-1, so it's hard to complain, but it does feel like they would be trying something that we've never seen before. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of modern football teams try to move away from the run and go with passes, short passes in place of the run. But if the receivers aren't going to catch those short passes, and in certain situations, like Ryan was just mentioning, there's nothing you can do. You have to run the football sometimes. I understand that with the advanced analytics that we have, we understand that passing is more valuable than running the ball. But in football, there are certain times where you have to impose your will. And the Steelers have always been a team that's been able to do that. So I'm not sure that they can just hit a switch and all of a sudden become that physical offense that we're used to seeing them be. But they need to figure something out because having Ben Roethlisberger throw a bunch of 3-yard passes, I don't think is a recipe to survive in the playoffs.
Graziano, what's one reason why they, the last couple of weeks, have run it so much less?
I'll give you 2 reasons. They didn't have James Conner and they didn't have their center, Pouncey. If they get those 2 guys back, maybe they approach that 4th and 1, 4th and short situation a little bit differently. I'm not saying it's about flipping a switch. They obviously are going to lean on their passing game because they love their receivers and they're so deep and so talented there. But in terms of the question of what do you need when you need 1 yard to win a game, I think they'll be better equipped going forward once they get those guys back in the lineup than they were Monday night in the Ryan Clark Bowl.
What do you think, RC? Is it as simple as that? Or they are playing without their lead running back in James Conner, and of course Pouncey has been a mainstay on that offensive line for a very long time. Is it as simple as that? They get those guys back, do they look different?
No. No, I mean, it's not as simple as that. I think if you get Pouncey back, you do look different as a team. He makes the calls. He's the leader of that offensive line. He has that rapport with Ben Roethlisberger, and he's a guy that's a movement guy that you can get out on the edge and pull and do some things that we don't normally see centers do. But this team hasn't run the ball well all season, and obviously James Conner is their number one back. But even with him, they relied on the Juju Smith-Schusters, the Claypools, the Deontay Johnsons, the Eric Ebrons to pick up those short yardage gains that they had to get in gotta have it moments. And so for me, it's not just about having the people, it's about a mentality. It's about a strategy that says we are going to stick to the run and we're going to become a team that can be a dual threat when we're playing offense. Until they get back to that, I just don't see how they match up with teams like Kansas City, the Buffalo Bills, who we'll see them play this upcoming week, because those teams can do both. Those teams can defend both, and you're going to need some type of stability offensively other than what Ben Roethlisberger can provide you through the pass game.
Well, and that leads me perfectly to what I wanted to say to Dominique earlier, and I didn't have time when we were debating who were the leading MVP candidates if we were to take out Mahomes and Rodgers, which granted, I mean, those two guys are clearly the front runners. And you brought up Deshaun Watson, who's doing so much on a team that isn't winning. And I love Deshaun Watson. But Ben Roethlisberger's name belongs in this conversation. Ben Roethlisberger has 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. All they do is throw it, and all the receivers do is drop it. That team leads the league by a wide margin in drops, and they're 11-1. Dominique, I think it is unreasonable not to at least put his name in that discussion, no?
All right, he put him in a discussion, and now we can take it out. Like, it doesn't feel like when you watch those games, it doesn't feel like Ben Roethlisberger is the reason why. He's throwing the short passes. The receivers are the key